Welcome to the 2011 U.S. Lacrosse NFHS Men's Rules Interpretation DVD. My name is Stephen Berger, Men's Division Associate of U.S. Lacrosse. U.S. Lacrosse is the national governing body for men's, women's, and youth lacrosse. Through responsive and effective leadership, we provide programs and services to inspire participation while protecting the integrity of the game. This educational DVD is intended to help officials, coaches, players, and fans better understand the rules of men's lacrosse and the spirit behind those rules. These video clips have been selected for educational purposes and are not intended to highlight any program or official. The NFHS rules are designed to maintain the spirit of the game and to ensure the safety of play at all levels. The men's division of U.S. Lacrosse fully supports both men's rules committees as written by the NFHS for high school and NCAA for the college game. U.S. Lacrosse worked diligently with the NFHS and NCAA to implement changes this year, which will remove high hits and hits to the head from the sport. U.S. Lacrosse encourages all lacrosse players, coaches, officials, and spectators to compete with class and honor the game by adhering to the spirit of the rules, especially those that minimize risk for players and those that pertain to participant sportsmanship. In order to achieve the goal of maintaining safety and integrity in the men's game, U.S. Lacrosse is fully committed to providing the appropriate training opportunities for coaches, officials, and players. The spirit of the game includes the philosophy that the game should flow as continuously as possible, and the outcome of the game should be determined by legal play, and that players, coaches, and officials should observe the intent of the rules and not try to take advantage of them.
Hello, I'm Ned Sparks, Chair of the NFHS Boys Lacrosse Rules Committee. Since 1920, the National Federation of State High School Associations has led the development of education-based interscholastic sports and activities that help students succeed in their lives. We set directions for the future by building awareness and support, improving the participation experience, establishing consistent standards and rules for competition, and helping those who oversee high school sports and activities. NFHS endorses this U.S. Lacrosse Rules Interpretation video as an official training tool for boys lacrosse officials. The following are rule changes for the 2011 season. Rule 5.3, illegal body check, will widen to include initiating contact directly to an opponent's head or initiating contact to opponent's body that then follows through to the head. This will be enforced by a non-releasable 1, 2, or 3-minute penalty. Article 6 of Rule 5.6 has also been expanded. While spearing or leading with the head has always been illegal when it takes place in the act of blocking an opponent, now anytime a player initiates a check with his head or to his opponent's head, it is a violation of this rule. Checking with or to the head should be removed from the game. The following clips describe how these changes should be applied. Watch as this player in white takes a 10-yard run at the ball carrier and delivers a high hit with his forearm to the neck of the player in red, causing a concussion. Based on the distance covered and the injury caused by the high hit, this should be penalized with at least a 2-minute non-releasable personal foul for illegal body check. Watch as this player in blue finishes a body check by bringing his cross up into the head of the player in white, causing a concussion. Even if the initial body contact is legal, finishing with a cross check to the head is a non-releasable foul. Since this check resulted in a serious injury, obvious from watching number 10 in white make his way off the field in a daze, this should be called at least a 2-minute non-releasable personal foul. Watch as number 1 in red spears number 14 in white with head-to-head contact resulting in a concussion. This should be called at least a 2-minute non-releasable foul for spearing. Watch as blue number 5 makes head-to-head contact with ball carrier number 11 in white, concussing himself. Here the official makes the correct call. Even though the blue player injures himself, he should be penalized with a non-releasable personal foul for illegal body check with a head-to-head contact. Here the player in white is attempting to pick up a ground ball and has his head in a defenseless position when green number 2 comes charging in and spears the white player with direct head-to-head contact, resulting in a serious concussion. With head-to-head contact and injury, green number 2 should have been penalized for at least 2 non-releasable minutes. The official who comes into view at the end of the play should have had a good look at it, but if the far side official sees an uncalled foul of this type, he should back up his partner and make the call. In any case, we cannot allow a foul of this type which results in serious injury to go uncalled. Watch this player in white take a 10-yard run and spear number 9 in black with head-to-head contact. Based on the distance covered and head-to-head contact, this should result in at least a 2-minute, non-releasable, illegal body check foul. This player in white runs at the goalie from a distance and makes head-to-head contact, causing a concussive injury. Based on the distance white travels to make the hit and on the resulting injury, this should be at least a 2-minute penalty. The head-to-head contact automatically makes it a non-releasable foul. Here's the contact again in slow motion. Notice the player in white adjusting his helmet as he walks away after the hit. It appears that he may have injured himself as well as the goalie with his head-to-head contact. After number 1 in white picks up the ball, his teammate number 2 leads with his head and blindsides number 12 with a high head-to-head hit. This is clearly illegal as number 2 initiates a check while his teammate has possession of the ball. The high blindsiding head-to-head contact should result in at least a 2-minute non-releasable personal foul. Note that in this case the on-official near the play is concentrating on the ball and will need some help from his partner, the off-official, across the field to make this call. This play shows a typical slash to the head. As this is not an example of targeting the head with a cross-check or high body check, this should result in a releasable 1-minute slashing foul, just as it would have in 2010. Rule 428.7 now states that any player who exhibits signs, symptoms, or behaviors consistent with a concussion, such as loss of consciousness, headache, dizziness, confusion, balance problems, shall be immediately removed from the game, to be evaluated, and if determined to be concussed, shall not return to play until cleared by an appropriate health care professional. Certified health care professionals are determined state by state. Rule 121 now stipulates if a field of play has a logo in the center or any other part of the field of play, that logo should not obstruct the visibility of the required marks. A solid or shadow-bordered line is permissible. A shadow line is a line that designates the continuation of a required line by border or outlines, at least 1/4 inch thick. The center of the field must be clearly defined so officials can correctly administer a face-off and can identify where to award the ball in certain situations. The following are significant editorial changes to the rulebook in 2011. Rule 110.1b now states hard and unyielding items, guards, braces, cast, splints, on the hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, or upper arm are prohibited unless it is necessary to protect an injury. If worn, the area of the body must be padded with a closed cell, slow recovery foam padding, no less than 1/2 inch thick. Knee and ankle braces, which are unaltered from the manufacturer's original design and production, do not require any additional padding. Rule 435. The official will sound the whistle promptly after readying the ball for play and stating the word set. For hearing impaired players, a reasonable accommodation for the set command and the whistle sound will be provided. Rule 563. Slashing shall include striking an opponent on any part of the body with a cross, including its cap end, except when done by a player in the act of passing, shooting, or attempting to scoop the ball. Note that this has been clarified by adding language to include a check with a capped end of the stick, such as an ice pick or windmill check that makes contact with the player's body. There are 5 points of emphasis for the 2011 season. Restart procedures. It is the responsibility of the game administration, coaches, and officials to see that the contest moves along promptly. If each of the aforementioned carries out their responsibilities, it will provide for a much more enjoyable contest. When the ball is ready for play, play should resume within 5 seconds. Here, the defender in black is nearest to the ball when it is awarded to his team, but he leaves the area and his teammate picks up the ball in an alley away from where the ball left the field. Not only does this restart take close to 15 seconds, but the clearing team gains a distinct advantage by taking the restart away from the goal. Encourage the closest player to pick up the ball for restart by starting a visual 5-second count as soon as possible. Insist that the restart takes place where the ball goes out of bounds. Watch as the official calls a loose ball push and awards the ball to white. At the time of foul, 2 players in white are in the vicinity of the ball. Both leave the area and the official doesn't restart the play for nearly 10 seconds. Start a visual count when the ball is ready to restart, and turn the ball over if the team isn't ready to go in 5 seconds. Here is an excellent restart. Over the course of a game, a few second delays in each restart can add up to 30 minutes to a game. This is another excellent restart. Here the team in white takes their time picking up the ball, and the official calls for delay of game and awards the ball to the black team. Excellent job. Start a count, make the call when necessary, and keep the game moving. Field size and markings. The first criterion in providing equitable conditions is to provide proper field conditions. Concerns have been raised regarding improper field size and/or markings. It is the responsibility of the home administration to provide a legal size playing field that is marked correctly, including but not limited to proper length and width, complete with correct field markings, coach's area, bench area, penalty area, limit lines, pylons. Sportsmanship. Taunting and baiting an opponent is contrary to the basic concept of fair play and honorable competition. Profane language and taunting is exactly opposite of the type of conduct and behavior which interscholastic athletic participation is intended to teach. The game provides countless opportunities for players to show good sportsmanship. Officials must strictly enforce the rules which prohibit unsportsmanlike conduct. If everyone involved in the game does their job, these undesirable acts will no longer be part of interscholastic sports. Coaches must take a visible leadership role in positive sportsmanship efforts. Since coaches are the most important component of modeling and teaching good sportsmanship, it is imperative that they inspire players to conduct themselves in a manner which best represents the values of high school sports. Coaches must stress respect for opposing players and tolerate no conduct which demeans or embarrasses the opponent. Bench area protocol. Coaches are reminded to remain in the coach's area at all times during the game. All coaches should remain off the playing field, including during timeouts. In order to achieve optimal field coverage, officials are encouraged to run the sideline during transition play. Coaches standing on or beyond the sideline create a dangerous situation for both the coach and the official. The rules call for team benches to be positioned 10 yards from the sideline and substitutes to be stationed a minimum of 6 yards from the sideline. Game administrators are strongly encouraged to provide this 6-yard minimum whenever possible. Where not possible, team substitutes should be stationed as far from the sideline as conditions allow. It is the coach's responsibility to ensure that substitutes do not stand in the coach's area or encroach on the sidelines. Equipment certification can be handled by the referee asking the head coach, "Coach, are all your players legally equipped by rule?" Head coaches are reminded that by responding yes, they are certifying they have fulfilled all the requirements of Article 1, Equipment Certification.
This concludes the 2011 Rules Interpretation DVD. Thank you for watching. We hope that you will use and share all that you have learned with others on the field this year. As coaches and officials, there is no greater contribution you can make to the sport than keeping the game safe and training to achieve a greater understanding of the rules. Play safe, and best of luck to you this season.